Welcome back to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel, where today I will be previewing the Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Stakes this Sunday, October 1st at Belmont at the Big A. It was supposed to be this Saturday, but the rain pushed it back. We have 9 older horses going 1.5 miles around the turf for a purse of $500,000. To start off, we have the number 1 Grand Sonata for Todd Pletcher. He is a 4-year-old that is 4 for 15 lifetime. He won the Kitten to Joy and the Dania Stakes, but then did not win again for 9 more races until recently won against Allowance Company at Saratoga last month. I just think personally this is too big of a step up for him because he's going to have the race of his life in order to hit the board. The number 2 is Soldier Rising for Christopher Clement. He is a 5-year-old who most recently we saw in the Sword Dancer this summer at Saratoga. He did not win, but finished close behind Bolshoi Ballet. He actually has not won since July of 2022 in Allowance Company. He's hit the board in 5 Grade 1s, but the biggest thing with him is pace. He is a very late closer, and he has to have that in order to win. So depending on how fast or slow these horses go is going to be a huge factor with him. The number 3 is Stone Age for Chad Brown. His record on paper isn't the greatest, only having won 2 in his lifetime and is 0 for 5 at this distance. We most recently saw him in the Sword Dancer as well, where he finished 5th place. Did not have the best trip, but he also just came from overseas. He was being trained by Aidan O'Brien up until the summer. Now, he did get 2nd place in the Breeders' Cup last year going this distance, but he was no match for Rebels Romance. So the talent is there. I'm just not sure which version of him is going to show up. The number 4 is Adamo, which is another Chad Brown horse that is 5 years old, 5 for 18 lifetime. It's only raced 1 time this year, and that was the Arlington Million, where he got 3rd place behind Set Piece. He definitely has the bat class, being in 6 consecutive Grade 1 races. And being 10 to 1 is not a terrible price for a horse who's almost won $1 million this year or in his career. The number 5, that is Rebels Romance. That is your Breeders' Cup Turf winner from last November. They sent him to Maiden in the spring where he finished 7th place. And then at Saratoga this summer, he clipped heels, kind of lost his balance, lost a rider. So he has the talent. We all have seen that, but we have not seen that talent in almost a year, where he popped a 107 buyer. And at 9 to 5, that's a very short price for someone who can be very vulnerable in this race. The number 6 is Warlike Goddess. We have a female entered in this race. She finished 3rd in the Breeders' Cup last year behind Rebels Romance. She came back in the spring and won the Bewitched, and then didn't do so well at Belmont and finished 2nd at Saratoga. She won this race last summer with a 105, but I think that this field may just be a little bit tougher than last year's. She just makes me nervous at 5 to 2, knowing she's lost her last 2 races back-to-back for the first time in her career. Then we have the number 7, that is So High, a 7-year-old who has won 3 out of 24 races. Not sure why they're doing this. He has early speed, but he's not going to win this race. Let's move on. The number 8 is Pioneering Spirit for Linda Rice, coming off a win in the Bernard Baruch 3 weeks ago at Saratoga. Not sure how tough of a field that was, but he was in the Sword Dancer where he finished 3rd with a 93 buyer. So there is some back class. He has improved since coming back to the turf. The field is a little bit stronger this time, so there is a chance that he could make an impact. The last horse is the number 9, that is Astronaut. He ran this race last year and finished 3rd with a 100 buyer, then came back in a G2 in Aqueduct in November, won pretty easily with a 102 buyer. Took some time off, came back in March, finished in last place in G2. Now he's been off again for 6 months. I'm just not sure if I can trust him after a long layoff and after his last performance not being so great. So with all of that said, I don't do chalk, so I'm going to go with the number 3, Stone Age. Do I think he's a better horse overall than Rebels Romance? No. But do I think that Rebel Romance is going to be his best in this race? No. After a stumble like the one he had at Saratoga, sometimes these horses get a little spooked, get a little nervous. And at 6 to 1, I'm going to go with the 2nd place winner from the Breeders' Cup. So in an exacta, I'm going to put in the girl Warlike Goddess and play a 3-6 exacta box. In a trifecta box, let's add in Rebels Romance defensively, as well as Linda Rice. You know she has the juice up there in New York. So that'll be a 3-5-6-8 trifecta box. Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss a video, and comment below who you think's going to win. Until next week, good luck.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track. Summer's here, our picks are heating up. We want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel right now. Click the notification bell. You don't want to miss a single one of our awesome videos. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.